Okay. Hi. Happy Thursday.
I
So it's me and Lily. We're going to have a little chat here. Sue will be back on in a little bit when she gets back up to her condo. So I have some notes for a conversation to have tonight. And this is really just going to be a lot of examples and things you can integrate into your own plan. Um, these what I guess I want to preface everything by saying this is one of those things where you know, you kind of take the nuggets you want to take and put things in. By no means do you have to integrate absolutely everything we talk about instantly, right? These are all just kind of nuggets and things to think about as you're integrating into your nutrition plan and working toward your goals. So, hi Kathy. We're just
Hi.
getting started. So tonight we're going to talk about habits and nutrition plans. So one of the things I run across a lot is I feel like I hear people have conversations in their head about I can't do this. I'm not good at a nutrition plan. I don't have the willpower. This isn't working for me. There's a lot of kind of mental like blocks, I guess you could say, for how we feel about nutrition plans. And I want to take that emotion away in some sense and really drill it down to your nutrition plan is equal to your habits. So, how well it's going, how well you're doing on it is a habit. And to me, in some ways, that should be a little bit of relief because it's not that you're not good at something. You just need some practice at it. You just need to integrate it into your life. So it's something that everyone can do and improve on and have happen, but it takes a little practice. And like any habit, you have been doing it for a long time. And there's a lot of places in our nutrition plans that are absolutely habit driven. And so if we just focus in on, tweaking that habit a bit to work for us versus working against us, then, it makes the nutrition plan piece a whole lot easier. So I'm going to go through a couple examples, and I just wrote down a bunch of stuff that was coming into mind as I was preparing some notes for tonight. But as we're going through, if there's something you like that resonates with you, or you want to talk about, or questions, just pipe in. And that's the kind of fun of only three of us to talk about things. We can get personal, or we can just go through the information and let it go out into YouTube, and then other people can watch and figure it out for themselves, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna look at my notes really quick, make sure okay. Yeah, so I really wanted the thing that I love about the idea of your nutrition plan really is your habit is also what are, it's looking at your current habits and are they working for you? Because when you create habits that are helpful in wherever you want to be in your nutrition, it's less thinking, overthinking, planning, struggling that happens on the other end. So by putting this work in up front, by creating the habit that helps you get there, you actually have less work on the back end, right? Because now you're kind of on autopilot with the things that work for you. So it can feel a little daunting changing some of our habits. And that's why I also like to recommend go in with one at a time, right? Find something that's really going to help make a significant change and really focus in on it. Everything doesn't have to be perfect right away, right? It's about changing those things that affect you the most at the time, work on the new habit, and then as you get through that, create it and are in it, then you can habit stack, you can work on something else along with it to keep everything going. And that's really how you continue to make the change and work toward, whatever it is you're looking to change. If that's following a nutrition plan, then maybe it's getting good at meal prep. And then later on you stack in tracking, or you stack in, I don't know, grocery shopping, you're probably already good at meal prep, but you know what I'm saying? Your habit stacking onto things. So let's go through some examples where I think we're, going to make some big impact by focusing and making this the habit. So One of the big things I think we hear a lot on this call, especially when we're grocery shopping, we hear a lot about if people have things in their kitchen and they're like, but the chocolate chip cookies are right there. They're in my kitchen. And they got there because someone bought them at the grocery store, right? So if you're in the habit of following a list or online shopping, not shopping when you're hungry, right? Those are all habits to get into so that things that come into your kitchen are the things you want in your kitchen. There was this one meme that was really funny. It was like, something like, I really want a snack, but healthy me did the grocery shopping this week. And now, whatever me wants to snack on the Oreos. Right. And it's kind of like making a habit out of having your grocery shopping work best for you. So if you're like in the grocery store and you're going through and just kind of grabbing what you normally grab, you may have to take a second and be like, okay, what's on my list? Because I make that list. These are the things that are, part of my meal plan this week. This is what I'm, want to have in my kitchen, not the I'm really hungry right now, so let's grab these chips or these other snacks that I really don't want in my kitchen. So changing that habit right there. Let's go here. I just made a lot of notes. So I want to make sure I get through all of the pieces that I meant to say here. Okay. And then, here comes Sue again. Hello.
Hello, I'm back.
Okay, good. We're only on our second habit discussion here.
Awesome.
So the habit of meal prep. If meal prep is one of those things that you've struggled with and you're like, I just don't have time. I just don't, whatever the reasoning is, right? Whatever your lifestyle is like, this is another habit. Okay. So or a pattern, whatever you want to call it. It is something that once we do it enough, it's just part of our day. So in order to make the meal prep a habit, maybe just start with one meal. Breakfasts are super easy to meal prep. You could meal prep an entire week at a time. You could meal prep 3-4 days and then just do it twice a week. Whatever is that next step for you to make things easier. And a lot of times we eat the same things for breakfast. So that's why it's also much easier to, start with this breakfast habit. But once you've gotten into it, right, and you've now prepped your breakfast for several weeks in a row, it's then easier to be like, oh, okay, I can do this with dinner too, or I can do this with my lunches. I can just make double my dinner. And then now I've got breakfast and lunch meal prepped as I go through this week, right? It all becomes more doable, easier. But if you're going into no meal prep and then trying to meal prep for 7 days on like Sunday, it's going to feel really daunting and it's going to feel like, I don't know if I can do this, but you can definitely do one meal, get good at it, and then add the next one in. Any questions so far? How are we doing? Feel free to jump in and add things in here. So another habit that I think is really critical in this nutrition plan thing is being okay with saying no to things. Whether we're in social settings or you're in the grocery store with your kids, whatever it is, right? Just being okay with the no. And it's not just saying no, but then if you feel mentally like, oh, I have to say no to that, it's the saying no it feels real, like a relief. Like I don't have to have that, cupcake that Leslie brought into the office today. I don't want it. I don't, it's not important to me. It's not a big deal. And sometimes we feel like we have to have things because everyone else is having things. But, same with alcohol happens a lot, right? You're in a social setting and you feel like you need to have a drink because other people are having a drink. But it's that feeling of saying no because it's not what you really want. And so you feel empowered from the no versus, just kind of going with the flow and letting your habits take over, right? Like I'm in a bar, so I have to have a drink. It's more of, I'm here with these people I want to be with. So I'll have what I want to have and what works for me. And I'm still going to have a great time because the drink wasn't needed. So it's things like that where you're empowering yourself to be okay with the no's and to still be in the moment of whatever is happening. Like if it's, family potluck and you feel like you have to have, you feel pressure to have somebody's whatever dessert, scalloped potatoes, I don't know, whatever, right? Whatever the pull is. But going into it, being good with what you want and what's working for you so that you can leave there feeling good about it. And while this has an emotional piece, it's also a habit. It's one of those things where if you're just choosing to go with the flow, you kind of have to stop on this one and think, do I really want this? It's kind of, we always go back to this analogy of, now I forgot her name, Jennifer Jacobs, dating her dessert, right? Because she's like, I'm going to go on one date with this donut and we'll see what happens after this one date. I'm not committed to eating the whole donut, marrying the donut, right? I'm going to have one bite. That's one date. And I'll decide if I want a second date. And it's the same thing when you're in these social situations, right? You do what's going to work best for you and feel great about it. And I find most of the time when I've made decisions like that, where I'm like, oh, no, I'm not having any drinks right now. No big deal. Sometimes at first people are like, what? Why, why not? What? It's like shocking. And then, but the more that's my habit, then the more they're like, it's not a big deal, right? It didn't change anything. Their interaction with me doesn't change because of that. And I think people then kind of look at it and think, oh, okay, maybe I don't have to have it, right? That kind of thing. Same with foods, same with, all those things. It's a habit of just doing what works best for you in that moment. Okay. Okay, here's a fun one. So habit of plating. So the other night I noticed this with myself. And oh, nice. She's got her Tubi tracker there. So I noticed this with myself. So it was me and the kids. David was traveling and I was making dinner and I'm like, I'm just going to throw some chicken legs in the oven and I'll make these roasted potatoes. And I had both that done. And I literally had everything on my plate. I had 2 chicken legs. I had roasted potatoes. And there was like this, I'm like, I don't have a vegetable on there because it is such a habit for me, right? To have a vegetable on my dinner plate. There's always a vegetable, always. And I'm like, I can't, like, I have to make a vegetable. So quickly I whip out some green beans, I throw them in the saute pan, and then I add the vegetable on my plate. And it was just kind of a funny moment because I'm like, even I come across, as many years as we've all been talking about nutrition and doing these things, it's like, I just noticed, I'm like, I was going against my habit there. And it clicked in like, hey, you're missing something from your plate. So it served me well. Whereas maybe my habit isn't to have vegetables on my plate. So you're going to have to work at it a little bit. You're going to have to make sure there's always vegetables in the refrigerator, put that into the meal plan, whatever it is. But it will sneak up on you, right? Where you're like, this is or isn't a habit. And it depends on how it goes, how your plate's looking. But I just thought it was kind of funny because I'm like, I can't not have a vegetable. So I got to put this on there. So, and then this kind of leads into 2, I think it's also a habit how we talk to ourselves about food. Like we've all, I know Lily will relate to this. We always considered ourselves coffee people. And then we didn't have coffee for a while. And it was kind of like but I'm a coffee person. How can I not have coffee every morning? You know what I mean? And it's the same with like, I don't really like vegetables, or I don't do salads, or whatever you're telling yourself, right? However, you're kind of talking to yourself in this way of like how you're identifying with things. It's shifting that. So maybe instead of like, I don't like vegetables, it's like, I'm learning new ways to like vegetables, right? It's like shifting how you're talking about it is also a habit of encouraging yourself to try new things. Or maybe it's like, I remember for a long time, I was be like, I'm never going to do the ultimate reset. I'm not going to do it. It's not for me. It's not for me. Right. And then I did it and I was like, wow, that was really cool. And I'm like, I learned all these great foods. And I let myself experience something new. And that was really great. So how are you talking to yourself in a way that you could tweak it a little bit to then open up your experiences, open up trying some new things, trying vegetables a different way? I was listening to a book today, Next Level. We've talked about Stacy Sims' Next Level before. And apparently there's a genetic component to some women find coniferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower bitter when they eat them. She didn't say the percentage of people that have this, but they're like more sensitive to it and they find these vegetables bitter. And she said, if you roast them, it transitions that bitterness into a sweetness because it uses the natural sugars from the vegetable to be more sweet. And so that's one way that you can still get these coniferous vegetables in and enjoy them if you are a part of this population that finds them bitter. And I thought that was really interesting because I'm like, I had no idea that there was a group of people that found them bitter. So I don't know if does anybody have that experience? I've never thought of them as bitter, but so you know what I mean? But trying something in a new way can then make it more palatable. So like if you always had cooked carrots growing up as a child and you're like, I don't ever want another cooked carrot in my life, maybe having it in a different way, like just having them raw, cutting them up really thin, putting them in salads, so they're not like this giant chunk, whatever it is, right? And they're still crunchy and not soft, whatever works, but trying new things so that you can then create this habit of trying things, of enjoying the foods that you're trying. All right, I think I've just got a couple more here. Okay, so like the habit of not eating enough in your meals, so then you're a snacker later. Also a habit, right? If you get in the habit of having a well-balanced meal, enough calories, then the snacking component can also go away. Habit of tracking. Absolutely, tracking is just a timepiece. It's like a discipline. It is a pattern that you develop. And so I am guilty of not being great at tracking, and see the words I use there. So I need to be like, I'm practicing my tracking so that I can become better at tracking. So that's how I need to change it in my mindset. Or I could even tell myself, I'm really great at tracking. And just not even let the negative in. Just be like, I'm really awesome at tracking. And then just keep telling myself I am. And as I continue to practice doing it. A habit of eating the same things. So if you get bored with your menu because you've been eating the same things, then shift that habit to try new recipes, put in one a week, and work toward finding, some things that are a little more exciting, changing up the flavor profile. So the point in all this, right, is that I don't think any of us start out good on a nutrition plan, on a new nutrition plan to us, right? It's all different because it's not the current habits we have, but it literally is just practicing and continuing to work toward creating the habit. And we've talked in the past about creating the habits, and there's an amazing book called Atomic Habits. I'm not speaking right. I would highly, highly recommend. James Clear is the author. And in that book, he goes through the 4 things that help you to really create a habit well, something that's going to stick and something that helps you integrate it into your day so that it's really, effective. So I would highly, if habits are something, you're kind of struggling to go through, make work for you, I would definitely get into that book and take these pieces, take whatever going to make a big effect for you right now, whether it's the grocery shopping, the meal prep, how you're talking to yourself, whatever it is, what's going to be one thing that you can really take from it and work toward? And I promise it feels like it's going to be slow, but these really do compound on each other. And, getting that one habit change down just helps you do the other ones even better and faster, because you know what to do. You know how to effectively change what you're doing. So, yeah. Any other things you guys you want to add that, like, maybe a habit you have changed with your nutrition, or, something you found you needed to do?
Well, with water, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously water was a big thing for me. I always drank water, but tracking it and keeping track of actually making sure I drank enough water and setting alarms to remind me, or always having my cup full of water, with me. That was definitely something I had to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. And some people might be having other beverages, right? Other than water. And so it's like transitioning those into something else. Like right now I'm having the Spindrift Mojito. So it's mint and lime. And that was one of those things where maybe I used to be a soda drinker. So it's like not having the soda anymore, or maybe instead of having a cocktail while I'm making dinner, now I can have this carbonated beverage that's, I don't know, all of like 5 calories and 4 calories, and no sweetener, no artificial stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing about water. I've been filling my gallon jug every day and then just pouring that into my portable cup, and then once it's gone, it's gone. So yeah, and I'm a huge snacker. I always snack. So if I drink more water, I tend to not snack as much.
Yeah. Well, good. Anything, Kathy, you want to talk about?
No, well, the thing I was gonna ask about, and I think I put a message out one time, but I've got this granola bar, or it's a bar, it's not granola, it's some kind of bar here, and it has sugar alcohol. And
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So sugar alcohol, a lot of time it's erythritol. It'll say on your ingredients what the sugar alcohol is. It could be erythritol. There is sometimes a stevia extract that has alcohol. Trying to think of what the other ones are.
Well, I'm looking on this thing.
And it's a way to, so a sugar alcohol, it is an alcohol. So it's like, so some extracts have an alcohol flavor to them too. It's like that. So it's not caloric, but it has sweetness to it. And so it's a way to sweeten things without adding calories.
Okay. Is it bad for you?
Well, so it can be a trigger for migraines and for gut issues. So it's not like, if you're having minimal amounts, it's fine. If you are more gut sensitive, it may be something you want to avoid. But I know, like I had something with quite a bit of erythritol in it, and I had a headache that night from it. So I think you just have to see how you respond to things. It's not something I would say you want a lot of or all the time.
Okay.
But if it's once in a while, and you just have to see how you do with it.
Okay.
Yeah, it tends to be in a lot of keto products, because
Yeah,
they're
that's what this actually says, keto support. And I got it from this Elevation brand from Aldi, but it's very good.
And what are the other ingredients in it? Like
Okay.
what's
It
is it
has
like a protein bar or?
Yeah, it's got, well, it has 7 protein,
Oh,
uh,
uh-huh.
no cholesterol, sodium 100, carbs is 22, total sugars is 2, 0 added sugars, and then it has 13 sugar alcohol.
Oh, that's a lot.
Is that a lot?
It has 13 grams of sugar.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's a lot. And you're actually, for a keto bar, that has a lot of carbs. So I'm
Oh,
kind
I
of
was
surprised.
thinking the carbs was a lot also.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised at how many carbs are in it, and it's a keto based product because that's a lot.
There's a girl at work, her daughter is a nurse practitioner, and she said, "Oh, these are really, really good." And I asked her about the ingredients and stuff, and I thought, well, she should know. She, if her daughter, maybe, would ask her daughter or something. But anyway, they're good. So I just will eat them not very often.
Yeah, I mean, I would just see how you feel after you eat it. My preference is always to go with a bar that has more actual food in it, right?
Yeah.
There's powders and things like that. And so like you want, in a good balanced bar, you want some fiber, you want some protein. It's fine to have the carbs and it's fine to have real sugars as long as it's, you don't want anything excessive. You want it to taste good but not be super sweet like a candy bar. Um,
Yeah.
but you also want some good base to it, right? Like that it actually has some nutritional value and it wasn't just a powder at one point.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it had, like if it's a I don't like what's the first ingredient in this one? What kind of
Okay.
bar
The
is that?
ingredients. First ingredient is peanuts,
Oh, okay.
and then milk chocolate flavored coating, and soy lecithin,
But then, yep.
and salt and natural flavor, it says. And then fiber blend of soluble tapioca fiber, inulin, and polydextrose.
Okay. Yeah.
And
So it sounds like it's like a chocolate covered peanut bar.
yeah,
Yeah. Yep,
yeah,
I just go off kind of how you're feeling with it. See how you do with sugar alcoholics. That it is a lot for a serving.
okay. I'm glad. I'm
Um,
glad
I think
I
the thing I
asked.
had that I got a headache off of was like 7 grams, and that was
Oh,
when I was looking at it. So I don't know, but it, we're all a little different.
yeah.
So yeah, see how you do with it.
Okay. What kind of bars do you guys like? I know the
I
beach bar.
do beach bars. Yeah.
Yeah.
The mint chocolate. We just got another box today because that's what my kids eat too. And they love that one. So, I've done Kind bars in the past. Those are
Huh.
all good ingredients. They're nut based. If you prefer that kind of, because you get a good, nice crunch. Those are a good bar. I know a lot of people like Lara bars and those have good ingredients too. They're pretty date heavy.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's a lot, while it's natural sugar, it's still a lot of sugar. Um, so yeah.
Okay.
Well, good. All right. Any other topics anybody wants to, I don't know if anybody has any labels. I didn't bring any out today.
I have
I
that.
don't have any
I
either.
have that tomato sauce that I found at Costco.
Oh yeah. Do you want to bring it
Oh
over?
yeah, what was that?
Sure. I haven't seen that brand before.
Mm-mm.
I need to do a Costco run.
Before you leave your boys.
Yeah.
It's so it's Victoria Organic. And it's like the Rouse that they had.
Yeah.
But now they're carrying this brand, which I had never heard of before. But it's organic tomatoes, organic onions, organic extra virgin olive oil, sea salt, organic garlic, organic basil, calcium chloride, and organic spices.
Okay. That sounds pretty good.
So it says 45 calories for half a cup, 2 grams of fat, no cholesterol, 5 carbs, 2 fibers, 5 sugars, no added sugar, and 1 gram of protein.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good option for
Yeah.
us.
You'll have to let us know how it tastes.
I know.
Yeah, I wonder how they taste.
I know.
That's the trick,
Hopefully
right?
it's- hopefully
Curious.
it's good.
Mhm.
The other day too, I don't know if it was Autumn's. I don't remember who I was watching, but they did like a cabbage steak. And then they
Oh, it was Autumn.
was it Autumn? And then pepperoni and a little bit of cheese.
Yeah,
So
I
like
think-
a cabbage based bottom.
Oh,
Yeah, like a cabbage pizza
It was
almost.
like a, yeah, I think I put that in the nutrition chat.
Did you?
I put
Okay,
one of
cool.
them in there.
Yeah. That whole cabbage steak, I don't, it's really like, I love that. When Alana came out with the one with the what's that dressing called? Like a Thousand Island dressing, where you homemade the Thousand Island dressing and then you put it on the cabbage steaks. It was so good.
Oh, that
Maybe
sounds
that was
good.
Autumn too. I can't remember.
I like
From one
I
of
like-
our nutrition plans.
yeah. I like cabbage steaks.
I do
They're good.
too. I don't make them near enough. I need to do it more. They're pretty versatile.
Yes, for sure.
Well, all right. So we do not have another nutrition call until September 28th, but there is, I mean, with me, but there is going to be on September 14th if anybody wants to hop on and chat and Yap Nutrition. That'll be a great time to do that. So September 14th, and then I'll be back September 28th. And then what's our Funky Friday tomorrow?
Animal print.
Animal print. Okay, I can do that.
Yes.
Now I just got to remember.
I put it in the virtual gym chat.
Okay, good. And then the next meal prep is October 1st. And then the next nutrition group is starting on Monday with Gut Protocol. So that'll be a prep week. And so we will go all in on the 11th. Yeah, and that'll be an odd group. And then there's a chat for that group too. So if you need to get in that group, get with your body partner so they can get you into those groups. And so we start on Monday. And other than that, we're just always in the nutrition chat. So if anything comes up, questions, we love recipe shares in there. So, you know, if you find something delicious that you want to share or talk about, then throw that in there. Or if there's a label anybody's curious about, just throw a picture in that group and we can talk about all that kind of stuff right in the group. And then everybody gets to see it too. So, all right. Any further questions? I'll stop our recording and we can take a picture and move on. All right.